Sports, we will return to the official weigh-ins here shortly. Thank you.
Headlined by Lawrence Okolie, who returns to our Sky screen and puts his WBO crown on the line when he takes on Light. Johnny Nelson and Matt Macklin are alongside me. How you doing, guys? Very much looking forward to this one, Matt.
Yeah, very much so. Okolie, you know, cruiserweight world champion. We know we've got also on Sky Reactor and Billum Smith, so there's some huge fights to get made. So, yeah, Okolie's had his issues outside of the ring, but they're behind him now. And looking forward to Saturday night, tomorrow night, hopefully, come to put on a big statement.
Lawrence Okolie, he's been out the ring, Johnny. He's been out the ring a year. How much do you think he will be looking to put on a show for everyone to see when he takes on David Light tomorrow night?
Let me see if I've got my stats right. So, the 25th, tomorrow, it'll be 6 years from when he first turned professional to the date. All of a sudden, he's changed his whole boxing circle around. He's changed trainer. He's changed the management of his career. He's gone over. He's changed home. He's been in Dubai. He's come back. He's training with Sugar Hill. Now, I don't think he's wasted that time. I think he's been working on himself. I spoke to Sugar Hill yesterday. He said, we've been working on the basic fundamentals. I think with 2 or 3 fights down the line before you will see what we're working on, like he has done with Tyson Fury. What
will Sugar Hill bring to Lawrence Okolie's game? And was that a good move, do you think, from Lawrence making that switch up from Shane McGuigan?
We'll have to wait and see. I mean, I think he definitely made a lot of improvements under Shane. You know, maybe he just wanted a change. You know, I don't know why. I thought he was performing quite well with him, but I think Sugar Hill certainly knows what he's doing. He did a lot of, you know, he's made some good changes with Tyson Fury. I think he's good at, you know, he likes to bang that right hand over, use the jab to set it up. Those are shots that work really well for Okolie. He's long, he's tall, and he does carry power in the right hand.
What do you think? Well, right time, right thing to do?
Right time, right fight. And Sugar Hill was talking about just making that distance, creating that gap, because sometimes Lawrence smothers his own work, so it looks messy, it looks untidy. And so he said he had bad habits that were really hard to shake. And you may see 1 or 2 of those bad habits in this fight tomorrow night. But he said once we get it down to a T, once he finds that distance to get that right hand in, get that left hook in, he has the leverage, he has the power. And he was really excited and animated about how he spoke about Lawrence's potential. So he's saying he's not there yet, but he will be there if he keeps listening.
I said this yesterday, but we saw it, I think, a little bit with Joshua Buatsi, and I think we saw it with Lawrence Okolie yesterday as well. He very much means business. We're seeing a kind of a more sort of mature Lawrence Okolie, I think, as we saw yesterday.
Yeah, well, look, he's world champion now, so you grow into that role. You know, like I say, I think he's whatever reason he left Shane, I don't know, but you know, Sugar Hill. This is their first fight together, but they'll have spent weeks. He's also been around Tyson Fury because they shared a trainer. That'll have rubbed off on him. You know, he'll have picked up on little bits of experience from Fury. I think he just needs a big win tonight. He just needs to get his career going again. You know, it's kind of stalled, hasn't it, outside issues. He just needs a big win and get moving in the right direction.
David Light is also unbeaten. Lawrence Okolie, 18-0. Someone's always got to go. How many problems do you think will Light cause Okolie?
So David Light's from New Zealand. I've boxed them in New Zealand, Australia, and it's like they're in a world of their own. But there's only a certain pool of talent they can compete with. So David Light's a big deal down there compared to the pool that's there. I don't think he's boxed anybody with the same credentials in regards to how he fights, his punch credentials, as Lawrence Okolie. I think David Light will be in for a shock. I would be very surprised if this fight went past the halfway mark, because for the first time David Light's going to come up against somebody that's really going to put it on him, that can punch as well.
So interestingly, I did a podcast last night with Al Siesta, who's the matchmaker for Boxer, and he was saying, don't sleep on David Light, don't be shocked if he pulls the upset. I said, okay, well, I don't know enough about him. I think Okolie's a pretty strong favourite, but we'll see.
That's what makes it interesting, doesn't it? Right, we're going to get our undercard weigh-ins underway. Let's hand you over to Big Mo for the introductions.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to our viewers joining us on Sky Sports to Boxer's official weigh-ins. For the return of Lawrence Okolie on Sky Sports as he looks to defend his Cruiserweight Championship of the world. We'd like to thank our Wow Hydrate provider today for the official weigh-ins. We're going to bring up each of our fighters, allow them to weigh in and face off before they go to war tomorrow night here in Manchester at the AO Arena, live on Sky Sports Showcase. Our first contest is scheduled for 6 3-minute rounds in the middleweight division. Introducing first to the scales, he comes to us with a professional record of 27 victories versus 17 defeats and 3 draws. From Ruda Śląska, Poland, here is Robert Talarek. Official weight 11 stone, 11 pounds for Talarek. And his opponent, he comes to us from Sheffield, England. Ladies and gentlemen, here is the undefeated Shaquille Dr. Steel Thompson.
Whenever someone asks me, what city right now in the UK is doing the most?
You know, what your line ain't popping, got up to spot for you. OT and get popping off my lucky, y'all. Best be happy that I'm rapping.
Official weight 11 stone, 12 pounds, 5 ounces for Shaquille Thompson.
Hey, yo, I'm about to say it off me, Latifah. I don't need a feature. When I was locked and locking spots, I didn't see a jig, they didn't see me neither. I need a house, and they need a beamer. I need a mortgage, they just need a teacher. Kicking knowledge with some drum hitters, I'm a greasy geezer. If you don't throw me from the intro, I'ma check you on the outro. My flows, I'm all about though.
So 6 rounds at middleweight between Shaquille Thompson and Robert Talarek. Johnny, you know Shaquille Thompson, unbeaten southpaw from Sheffield. What are you expecting in this one?
I expect him to do what I've seen him do in the gym. He's a bit of a he's a very confident, aggressive fighter when he wants to be. And when the lights on him, when the camera's on him, he wants to show off. I think he's going to make sure his opponent, and this is the best opponent to date for Shaquille.
The first one he's fought with a winning record.
Yeah. It's the best opponent to date. He's going to make sure, you know what, I'm not higher. But I've seen him in action. I've seen him work out in the gym. I've seen him when spar with cruiserweights, heavyweights. Very strong, very fast, very aggressive.
Thompson looks in great shape, Matt.
Yeah, definitely. We've seen him box at the Ali Pali, didn't we? And he looks competent. In the early stages of his career, still very much improving, learning, and I expect him to go in there tomorrow and get the job done.
Up next, ladies and gentlemen, 4 3-minute rounds in the super welterweight division. Introducing first to the scales, he comes to us with a professional record of 4 victories versus just 1 defeat. From Warrington, England, here is Casey Brown. Official weight 11 stone, 5 ounces for Casey Brown. And his opponent making his way to the scales and fighting out of the red corner tomorrow night here in Manchester from Hull, England. Here is the undefeated Harvey Lambert. Official weight 10 stone, 13 pounds for Harvey Lambert.
Four rounds at super welterweight in this one. Harvey Lambert versus Casey Brown. Lambert is real sort of young talent here, Johnny. We saw him on his pro debut. He won his pro debut on the Chris Smith undercard. That was in December in Bournemouth. What a great show that was. A lot of talent, but still early days for him.
Yeah, he's got good amateur pedigree as well. At 25 years old, it's a light stage in his career, but he needs to try and steal the limelight. Brown at 24, so they're both fighters. Prime position, prime time, good time in 4 3-minute rounds, and so we'll see the talent really shine through from Lambert. He was on the GB podium, so through the amateurs he was tipped to be something special. So we'll see now in a pro game.
Well, Casey Brown from Warrington, he's lost just once in 5 professional fights. What kind of problems do you think he could pose Harvey Brown?
Well, look, it's a 4-round fight, and they're both, in their physical prime. It's, whoever wins here, it's a great win for them. Whoever loses, it's a backward step. But the juice is worth the squeeze, isn't it? The gamble, they're on a good platform here. They get their chance. It's a 50-50 fight, I guess.
You took the words out of my mouth. It's just a chance to shine, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. And you're not always going to get those opportunities. Don't come up every week, so you have to take your chances when they're presented to you.
All right, let's get back to Big Mo.
We move to the featherweight division, ladies and gentlemen. Introducing first to the scales with a professional record of 12 victories versus 3 defeats, with 3 of those wins coming by way of knockout. From Liverpool, England, please welcome Brian Phillips. Official weight 9 stone, 3 pounds, 5 ounces for Brian Phillips. And his opponent, coming to us from Pennygreg, Wales, here is the undefeated Rhys Edwards. Official weight 9 stone, 2 pounds, 5 ounces for Rhys Edwards.
Rounds at featherweight then, or is it 8 rounds? We'll find out tomorrow depending on how the show goes. Rhys Edwards versus Brian Phillips. Now let's just remind ourselves, Rhys Edwards only 22 years old, Matt, but he's already risen to a 13-0 record.
Yeah, he's going to, like I'm saying, some prospects come through the amateur route. They go to the Olympics or, national titles. They have lots of international experience. They're a bit mature, more mature, turning professional, 23, whatever. But now, get some that turn young and learn their trade as a professional.
And there are pros and cons to both, aren't there?
Absolutely.
In terms of his opponent, Brian Phillips, he actually was the last man, wasn't he, to fight Michael Gomez, and that was a real battle, one, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. Remember Jimmy First, he lost to Jimmy First, put up a good fight, lost to him on points. So it'll be a good one. At 29 years old, he's mature, he's confident, he's got the experience. But again, he's going in against somebody that has that amateur pedigree. And so you're going there with a bit of a chip on your shoulder because you want to prove the top brass wrong.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, we move to the super middleweight division. 8 3-minute rounds live from the AO Arena tomorrow night here in Manchester. Introducing first, he comes to us with a professional record of 9 victories versus 3 defeats and 2 draws. From Basel, Switzerland, by way of Portugal, here is El Fenomeno Celso Neves. Official weight 12 stone, 5 ounces for El Fenomeno. And now, ladies and gentlemen, introducing the new addition to the boxer roster, live on Sky Sports. He comes to us with a perfect, undefeated record of 10 victories, no defeats. 8 of those wins coming by way of knockout from Barnsley, England. Here is the current reigning Central Area Super Middleweight Champion, Callum Simpson. Official weight, 12 stone, 13 pounds for Callum Simpson. 11 stone, 13. My apologies.
I am very much looking forward to this one. Callum Simpson versus Nelson Neves, 8 rounds at super middleweight. I think you might have gathered there from the cheers in the crowd just how popular Callum Simpson is.
Yeah, exactly. He's got a good following behind him. He's undefeated. He's boxing on Sky Sports. He'll be desperate, really, really keen to put on a big performance and get everybody talking about him.
Yeah, this is his first fight, Johnny. Callum Simpson's after signing with Boxer and Sky Sports. And if history is anything, we're going by, fighters just want to show us, don't they, what they can do. They want to make a statement.
And I've seen Callum Simpson back in the day, even through the amateur, was a really good fighter. So when I'd heard that Boxer signed him, I thought that was a really good shout, because this kid is rugged, he's a rough diamond, he can punch. They've got a lot of hopes on him, but it's a force which is ridiculous. Saturday night, it will be like you're in Barnsley. And he just has that confidence about him.
Bit of argy-bargy going on there, Matt. I like that.
Yeah, a little bit of needle, nothing too hectic.
It's all in the spirit of it, isn't it? And we're just about to hear from Callum Simpson now. He is with Andy Scott.
Callum, thanks for joining us. He's a dangerous opponent, Chelsea Neves. When even the fights he's lost, he's been dangerous and had moments in them. What are you looking out for tomorrow night?
Yeah, like I said, I've watched him against Cash. I've watched him a few of his fights, and even last night. And I feel like everything that he's got, I've got an answer to. And I can't be too much for him. I'm too fast, too powerful, And like I said, I want to put a big show on Saturday night.
You saw the Barnsley scarf, the Barnsley flag. We know that some of the players are coming, some of the fans are coming. You've asked for the big platform, you've asked for the big build-up. You've got it now. What do you want to show us tomorrow?
Show you what I've got. I want to put on a performance, let the whole country know that I'm here. You know what I mean? I want to make my name for this. Like I said, I want this big stage, like I made for it, and like I said, I want to put on a big show Saturday night.
Best of luck. Good luck.
Thank you very much.
Moving right along, ladies and gentlemen, we head to the featherweight division. 6 2-minute rounds tomorrow night here in Manchester. Introducing first to the scale, she comes to us from Bolton, England, with a professional record of 4 victories versus just 1 defeat. Please welcome Lindsay Bukczynski. Official weight, 9 stone, 2 pounds for Lindsay Bukczynski. And her opponent, fighting out of the red corner tomorrow night at the AO Arena. She comes to us with a perfect undefeated record of 2 victories and no defeats. Ladies and gentlemen, here's the 2020 Olympic bronze medalist, introducing Karis Artingstall.
Yo, the sun don't shine forever, but it's long in his head, and we might as well shine together. Better now than never. Business before pleasure. P. Diddy and the fam, who you know do it better. Yeah, right. No matter what, we airtight.
Official weight, 9 stone even for Karis Artingstall.
Music keeps you moving. What are you moving? You know that I'm
funny, all smiles on the scales there from Karis, but we know Lindsay Biskinski, she's been calling for this fight. She is supremely confident going into this one.
Supremely confident. She's done the 10-round distance twice, so she has the engine, she has the fitness. She wants to try and upset the apple cart by calling out Karis, which is a good shout, bold move. So she's going to come in there with some serious intention, but Karis is she's just a machine. She's looked now the way she prepares for a fight. You wouldn't expect this at this stage in her career. You'd expect it at world title level. You'd expect it at European title level. So unless Linda has got her act together, she's supremely fit and on point. I think she's going to be in for a shot for the speed and the power, that kind of thing.
Well, Karis is very much looking for win number 3, Matt. But Lindsay, she has got that experience of rounds under her belt, almost 3 times the amount that Karis has done. Will that matter tomorrow night?
No,
do you
she's
think?
more experienced as a professional, but as an overall boxer, Karis is Olympian, boxed around the world at a high standard. I think that will stand to her, and I think I've been impressed with Karis as a professional. She's got that style. You can see she's not just a point scorer. She wants to put the hurt on her opponent. She wants to get the stoppage.
I don't know if you remember it, but Fraser Clark very early on in the sort of turnover of Karis, he was the one saying that she's the one to watch. She's going to be the one to watch in the women's division.
And it's exactly that, because I actually thought she was the quietest one out of them. She said honestly in the gym, she damages people. So now we've probably not even seen a fraction of who she is, but I think as time goes on to get the fights in, we'll see how good she really can be.
I'm looking forward to this one tomorrow night. Let's hear from Karis then. Who's with Andy?
Karis, you've got a relaxed figure all week. The one of the hard bits is done with the weigh-in. Talking's nearly done. How do you feel ahead of tomorrow night, and what do you want to show us?
Yeah, I'm feeling good now. Like you said, all the hard work's done. I've trained very, very hard this camp. Hated every minute of it, but it's all done, like you said, now, and the fun part starts tomorrow.
What sort of performance can we expect from you? What do you want to show us? You've got this reputation of being one of the Olympians that's turned over, that's really settled into the pro game in terms of your style.
Yeah, I think the pro suits me much better. As in the amateurs, it was hard to pin people down over 3 rounds. A lot of them are back foot fighters, but in the pros, I've got that little extra time to do it. It suits me. I'm a front foot pressure fighter. I like to hit hard when I can land my shots. So I'm a good boxer, though. I can box my way in, so I'll box my way in and then I'll let my hands go.
Good luck tomorrow.
Thank you very much.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, we head to the super featherweight division. Tomorrow night here at the AO Arena in Manchester, this highly anticipated contest is for the vacant English Super Featherweight Championship. Introducing first to the scales, he comes to us from Grimsby, England, with a perfect, undefeated record of 13 victories, with 3 of those wins coming by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, here is Levi Giles. Official weight, 9 stone, 2 pounds, 5 ounces for Levi Giles. And his opponent, he comes to us with a record of 18 victories versus just 1 loss, fighting out of right here in Manchester, England. Here's the current reigning Central Area Super Featherweight Champion, Michael Gomez Jr. Official weight, 9 stone, 4 pounds for Michael Gomez Jr.
You know what they say, Matt, like father, like son. There's a lot of love, a lot of support for Michael Gomez Jr. in the room, just like there was for his hugely popular father.
Yeah, that apple hasn't fallen too far from the tree. Here he is now.
Tomorrow night, ladies and gentlemen.
To be honest, that was kind of expected after yesterday at the press conference, because emotions were very much spilling over there, weren't they?
Yeah, I could have told her that was going to happen. But Yeah, I think he needs to calm him down. He'll need a cooler head tomorrow night, which I think he will have. He'll be fired up. But, like his dad used to get really fired up. But he was cleverer than he made out as well. He knew he was cute enough. He knew when to calm it and rein it in.
That's Michael Gomez Jr., Levi Giles unbeaten in 13. This will be the first time stepping up to 10. Of course, the England's vacant title is on the line in this one, Johnny. Emotions, we just saw them there, spilling over. We pretty much knew that was going to happen in this one. Like Matt says, though, that's got to be reined in tomorrow night, surely.
It's got to be reined in. And Ben and security just said, you know what, we're not even going to go with the head-to-head. Just take this off. Save that for the ring tomorrow night. Michael, like his dad, he wears his heart on his sleeve. And I think this is going to be, that'll be an exciting little fight. You're so support there. He's easy, riled up by the fans, and that's the kind of fight it is. Anybody he gets in with knows they've got a hell of a fight, man.
But that's also what the fans love, isn't it? They love a bit of that, love a bit of spice.
Look, they've all come dressed to impress, like Mexicans.
A lot of Mexican hats,
they've done the job. Michael's over there trying to explain himself to everybody, basically saying he didn't want it to get in his face. And so, at the end of the day, you're dealing with fighters that are raw, that are pumped up, and they're a little bit oversensitive as well.
How hard is it, though, Matt, when you are kind of that fired up to calm yourself down? What do you need to do? What do you do in those situations?
You'd like to think that his coach will be able to play a big role in that, calming him down, because you don't want to be burning up unnecessary energy, nervous energy. He's nervous, that's why he's probably reacted like that. So it's about harnessing that nerve, that fear, and making it work for you, not against you.
All right, let's get back to Big Mo for the heavyweight.
We move to our chief support contest tomorrow night here in Manchester at the AO Arena. The heavyweights, 8 3-minute rounds. Introducing first to the scales, a veteran of the division, 20 wins, 4 defeats, with 16 of those wins coming by way of knockout. He comes to us from Bucharest, Romania. Here is Bogdan Dinu. Official weight, 17 stone, 10 pounds for Bogdan Dinu. And his opponent. He is becoming one of the biggest sensations in the heavyweight division. He stands 6 feet 6 inches tall with a perfect undefeated record of 5 victories, no defeats, with 4 of those wins coming by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, here's the Olympic bronze medalist and Commonwealth gold medalist, the aptly named Big Frazer Clark. Official weight, 19 stone, 5 pounds for Big Frazer Clark.
I imagine, Matt, this head-to-head will be very different to the last one. Frazer Clark now facing Bogdan Dinu. Of course, he was due to fight Rydell Booker, who had to withdraw last minute in the last week due to medical grounds. But as a fighter, as a well-established amateur, Team GB, he's used to those sort of late changes. That shouldn't really throw him off track at this stage.
I don't think that'll throw Frazer. He's used to adjusting and adapting, and he's quite calm. He seems to take everything in his stride.
Heavyweight contest between 2 mountainous men.
I mean, Manchester Arena is fast becoming Frazer's second home. This is his 4th fight, his 4th professional fight, can you believe it, in 6 fights that he'll be in Manchester. So it's familiar hunting ground now for Frazer.
And you know what, each time you look at him, look at the shape of him now compared to the last time, compared to that, and he seems to be morphing into that professional stature, professional fight that he needs to be. He's dropped weight, looks strong on the back, strong on the arms. I actually think, he's in a rush now. When he was speaking yesterday, frustrated about the likes of
Well, I
Ward
guess
and people
that's
like that.
understandable because I think the matchmaking has been frustrated, isn't it, on everyone's behalf. Sky, Boxer, Fraser, everything. And I think he's just in a hurry to get moving now, isn't he? He wants to get some momentum and sort of get that good matchmaking in place.
And he needs the public to know this is, I want to fight. I don't care who they put in front of me. And he does that. He'll shout out, and he needs to impress every time he gets in there to say, look, show his hunger, show his desire, show what he's made of. But this is the tougher opponent.
Well, let's see what Fraser's got to say with Andy.
Big phrase. Big phrase. Welcome back to Manchester, your 4th time here as a pro. I mean, we could probably say it's your second home.
Yeah, adopted Manc now, so loving it, love the place, love the people. Everyone shows me great support when I'm here, and there's always a cracking fight.
You've had your fair share of bad luck throughout your career with opponents pulling out. I'm sure at the start of the week you were cursing your luck again and wondering if you'd be on the show, but Bogdan Dino, to his credit, has come and he's come in shape.
Yeah, he's come. I've seen him before. He's a good fighter. I'm not taking nothing away from him, but I feel ready, I'm confident, and the show will go on, and I'm sure it'll be an exciting one.
You shared camp with him in 2017 when he was over sparring Anthony Joshua, but you didn't actually do any work with him in the ring, but you got a up-close and personal look at him.
Yeah, I've seen him. He's made of the right stuff. He came, he gave AJ great work. So I've seen a little bit of him, watched some of his fights from more recent, and I know what I can do, so, that's all I'm concentrating on.
You had a little bit to say yesterday to some of the people that are commenting on social media and some names that are being thrown about there, the likes of Fabio Wardley. I think people think you're a big friendly giant, but once that first bell rings, it kind of goes out the window.
No, I am a big friendly giant, but I'm not soft. Do you know what I mean? So, I said what I said, and I stand by it. I think I'm better than him. I think I'm better than most of them. I won the British title. I've got nothing personal against Fabio. I'm just going to concentrate on my journey, concentrate on Saturday night, doing well there, and hopefully in the future that fight will happen.
You used to work for Security UK. You nearly got involved there with the Gomez head-to-head. I thought you were going back to work.
Yeah, it's just natural in me. When that happens, see Clifton. I've got to get his back. He's at my back, so I've got to have his.
Good luck tomorrow.
Nice one.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, the main event tomorrow night at the AO Arena here in Manchester. 2 men vying, one to attain the WBO World Cruiserweight Championship and one to keep the WBO World Cruiserweight Championship. Presented by Boxer, promoted by Ben Shalom, live on Sky Sports Showcase. Introducing first to the scales. He comes to us with a perfect, undefeated record of 20 victories, no defeats, with 12 of those wins coming by way of knockout. He has traveled to us from Auckland, New Zealand. Ladies and gentlemen, here is the reigning WBO Oriental, Global, and Intercontinental Cruiserweight Champion, David the Great White Light. Official weight, 14 stone, 2 pounds, 5 ounces for the Great White, David Light. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the champion making his return to Sky Sports from Hackney, London, England. He stands 6 feet, 5 inches tall with a perfect, undefeated record of 18 victories, no defeats, with 14 of those wins coming by way of knockout. Here's the former British, Commonwealth, European, and WBA Continental Cruiserweight Champion and the current reigning, defending WBO Cruiserweight Champion of the world, Lawrence "The Sauce" Okolie. Official weight, 14 stone, 4 pounds for the Sauce, Lawrence Okolie.
Johnny, the battle of the unbeatens in this one, and Lawrence Okolie is putting his WBO crown on the line. And what do you think it's going to come down to? David Light, though, he's not short on confidence going into this one.
We've got two confident fighters, two unbeaten fighters. One of them's a champion and wants to stay champion, has ambitions to step up to the bigger guys. He knows he's getting in there with a fighter that probably has never felt his power before. So it's a case of getting the job done and trying to do the things that he's worked on with his trainer and putting him into action. I think this is all about a building block for Lawrence Okolie to think, right, I've got to see what I'm doing wrong and what I'm doing right. And I think Light is just in the way. Light wants to try and shock and surprise everybody, but I know Matthew said, his coach said, the matchmaker said, keep an eye on him, but I just can't see him putting a dent in Lawrence.
I think it's fair to say in the past, Lawrence Okolie, he's sort of been criticised for, he's not that pretty to watch, or hasn't been that pretty to watch.
He's like a baby giraffe trying to find his legs.
Right, but it is effective.
Yeah, it's effective. And remember, they said that about Tyson Fury at the beginning of his career. And then all of a sudden, they thought, I see that. Now Tyson Fury started to find his form, started to find his rhythm and his smooth. Lawrence Okolie will be the same. The criticism he gets, I got, so I understand where they're coming from. I understand the frustration, but he's got to do it at his pace. And when he comes, he'll be unbeatable if he does it right.
What do you want to see from Lawrence tomorrow night?
A devastating knockout performance. You know, he needs to make a statement. He's been inactive.
Does he need to do that, do you think?
Well, look, if he doesn't, his career's still. As long as he wins, that's the most important thing. His career will still progress.
I mean, in terms of we haven't seen him in the ring for a year,
to ignite the fire and get people excited and talking, then he needs a devastating win. Yeah. And I think he'll get it. You know, LCS was saying don't sleep on David Light, but he's obviously a competent fighter, but I don't think he's mixed at the same level as what Okolie has and what Okolie is. Not just mixed at that level, but won at that level.
You can't afford to look past David Light, though, that is for sure. We have seen some almighty banana skins, haven't we, in our time?
You know what? Usually when fighters look past one opponent, they get turned over by the one that stood in front of them. So, of course, and that's the professionalism that you need to be showing at this stage, especially as a world champion. And if Lawrence makes those kind of mistakes, then you know what? He shouldn't have been there in the first place. So I don't expect him to underestimate Light. I don't expect him to think it's a walk in the park. I do expect him to respect the oath that's on Light's record.
We definitely have the lion's share of the domestic cruiserweight division, don't we, here at Sky and Boxer? And I imagine there'll be a fair few eyeballs watching this one tomorrow night, won't there?
Listen, I can see eventually here in the UK we could have a champion that holds two or three of the belts, because this is where the fighters want to be. It's where the top fighters are, so why not?
All right, let's hear from David Light. He's with Andy.
David, thanks for joining us. Not going to keep you long. All of your media commitments are complete now. All the talking stops. You've done your final face-to-face. How do you feel?
Yeah, good. Keen to have a feed, have a sleep, and then go get that belt.
You seem like a fairly laid-back sort of character. How are the nerves? It's a big show. It's a big event. Have you sort of taken any of that in, or are you just tunnel vision? You've got a close team around you and you're just focused on the job ahead?
Yeah, exactly. You know, you get in the ring and it's all the same. You know, you get in there and you just do what you have to do.
It is a long way to travel, though. How have you prepared? How have you made the weight now? A lot of boxers always say it's the hard bit. Now you've done it. You made it okay?
Yeah, it feels like how it's felt the last 3 fights, which have been, you know, I've been going strength to strength, so I feel fitter. I feel the best I've ever been. You know, whatever happens, I'm giving it my best.
You've got that underdog mentality. You say that you've always got that. Even if you were the favourite, you would have that underdog mentality.
Yeah, exactly. I hope I never lose that. You know, you got to have the hunger for it, and that's what I got. That's what I'm bringing.
Would you be brave enough to give a prediction, or is it win at all costs? It doesn't matter if it's points or knockout.
Yeah, I'll go with the latter there.
Good luck. Thanks for joining us. Let's bring the champion in, Lawrence Okolie. Lawrence, 14-4, so on the money. So much has been made about your big frame and eventually your future lies at heavyweight, but you're still making that cruiserweight limit without any trouble.
Yeah, exactly. So I feel good, happy to make the weight and be pushed on to tomorrow.
We are body language experts, obviously, and we always read into the head-to-heads, but you've always been the same. You don't like to do a long, drawn-out head-to-head. You do it for the photos, and then you look away. Nothing to read into that?
Yeah, nothing to read into it. Tomorrow, he's going to get to feel it, so there's nothing that we're going to learn up there.
Can you just let us into your mentality? It's been a long time out the ring. It's been a long, drawn-out build-up. You've been away with Sugar Hill. You're back now, and presumably you want to make a statement. What is that statement?
Just to show boxing, you know. There's a lot of talk of my punching power and all this stuff. I'm going to show I'm on a different level to all of these basic guys.
There is an elite mentality at the top level as well. It's our job to talk about the next fight and all the big fights that could come, but that's usually when things come unstuck. Have you made sure that behind closed doors you're not looking past David Light?
Yeah, like I said, I put in a great camp because I'm a professional. Because at the end of the day, we're happy David Light came, but he could have pulled out and someone else could have got in. So you have to train hard for anything that comes.
Just focusing on yourself?
Yeah, that's it.
Will you give us a final prediction?
Mid-round stoppage.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Do you know what, Johnny? Something's never changed with Lawrence Okolie, do they? As cool as
no
you
nonsense, does
like. That's what we know about him, isn't it, though?
I like that about him. He doesn't mind the criticism. He'll say exactly how he sees it, and he's probably right. He knows what he's going for. He's going for the stoppage. He's not going to try and be neutral.
Do you think he almost relishes that kind of criticism and uses it for sort of fuel?
I think he got a lot early on, didn't he, in his career, because he was moved quickly because of the results. You know, you move as quickly as your performance suggests, and but because he had probably developed certain fundamental technical ability from the amateur days, he was kind of thrown in deep. He was quite tied in. Some of the fights were like stinkers, just bad clash of styles, but nonetheless he was winning and progressing. You know, and recently he's definitely tidied up that. His judging distance is better. He's fighting at range as opposed to smothering his own work. And we know he carries real power, like one-punch power. And I think he just doesn't want to get involved in too much talking, rather do it in the ring.
Which has always been the way, isn't it, with Lawrence? I mean, you say recently, but we haven't seen him in the ring for a year. Do you think there is any danger at all that we might see a little bit of ring rust, or do you think he's someone that is so sort of active in the gym that won't even be a problem?
I think Saturday night we're going to see a frustrated fighter that's been itching at the bit, biting at the bit to get out there and fight, and he doesn't want to trip up. You know, after all the arguments, for the reasons why he's not been in the ring for so long, he cannot trip up at this point. So he wants to make sure I've got to get it right. I think he's an all the work in the gym, and that's probably what he's been doing all the time. You know, because just because you're not fighting doesn't mean you're not training. A lot of modern day fighters don't do that now. They'll always train in the gym.
He'll be desperate, I think, to put on a really good performance, but he's got to make
sure. But sometimes that can get the better of you,
he's
can't
got to make sure he doesn't overthink things or try too hard and tighten up. He's got to just let it flow.
I'm just thinking of the broader picture, not at Lawrence's level yet, not necessarily at world level yet, but who do you think, in terms of the domestic scene, is the biggest threat to Lawrence Okolie at this stage?
I think Riakporhe.
Do you?
Yeah. I do too. I think there's some history there with those two. I think Lawrence is far too familiar with Chris Bill and Smith. So I think Lawrence will always have his number, and no disrespect to Chris, I think he's got his number. These guys are sparring him on a regular basis. It's got to be Richard Riakporhe, and these guys have come out with every reason why they've not fought each other. It was his fault. But I believe it's Richard Riakporhe, and that's the fight that of course we're all thinking about, but not actually saying.
Oh, I think some beef's already started, isn't there? At the film premiere of Creed, there's a bit of back and forth, wasn't there?
I think it was over popcorn.
Why'd you want to fight over popcorn?
One to sweet, one to salty.
Yeah.
That's what it was about. That would be a great fight to see. In terms of the rest of the card, though, who are you most looking forward to see? I think you're most looking forward to seeing Fraser back in action.
Fraser, without a doubt, Fraser. I just want to see this guy's story unfold. I'm frustrated for him because he sees the other heavyweights domestically that are making noise, and he's thinking, I know these guys, I'm betting these guys, so I just want his turn to come, and I think this year he needs to at least finish the year in a prominent position, if not a prominent position.
You, Matt?
Probably Karis, because I really like her style. I've been impressed with her. I think she's going to have a really good professional career. I know she had a great amateur career, but I think the professional rank's going to even suit her more.
Not Levi Giles, Michael Gomez Jr. I mean, that's going to spill over.
That could be fight of the night, couldn't it?
That could be. That could really, really catch fire, couldn't it? It's a cracking card. We love your company. That is it from us here today. The talking is done. It is all eyes on Fight Night. Make sure you join us 7 o'clock. Sky Sports Action, Sky Sports Showcase, and Sky Sports Main Event. We'll see you then.